For this word problem, we are going to learn how to set it up as a system of equations. However, we are not going to solve the system. So if you're looking to review how to solve a system using the elimination method, make sure you go back and review that topic. Okay, let's get started. A family has two cars. The first car has a fuel efficiency of 40 miles per gallon. So when they say fuel efficiency, that's miles per gallon. And then it says that, so 40 miles per gallon of gas. So let me add that too. Then the second car has a fuel efficiency of 20 miles per gallon of gas. During one particular week, the two cars went a combined total, so two cars, a combined total of 1,600 miles. And then it says for a total gas consumption of 60 gallons. And they want us to figure out how many gallons were consumed by each of the two cars that week. The question here is going to let us know what we are trying to find in this problem. So what are we trying to answer? So we need to know how many gallons were consumed by each of the two cars. In other words, how much gallons of gas did each car use? Therefore, those are my unknowns. So I already know I have two cars. So I'm going to let X represent my first car, and it's going to be the gallons used by the first car. And then I'm going to let Y represent the gallons of gas used by the second car. Let's go back to our notes and figure out what we underlined one more time. So in the second sentence, it says the first car has a fuel efficiency of 40 miles per gallon. So I'm just going to put first car is going to be 40 miles per gallon. And then the second car is 20 miles per gallon. 20 miles per gallon. And then it says that during one particular week, two cars combined, so they want a combined total of 1,600 miles. So the total combined total, which is their distance traveled. So the distance of both cars traveled is 1,600 miles. And then the last set of information, it says that there's a total gas consumption of 60 gallons. In other words, both cars used 60 gallons in total. And I'm going to add that to this other part too. So the distance of both cars traveled is 1,600 miles in total. So that's, in other words, I'm saying that basically if you combine them together, because that's what the notes is telling us. Now I'm going to go over and set up my equations. So I'm going to do equation number 1, and then I'm going to do equation number 2. And I'm going to start off with this information first here. It says both cars used 60 gallons in total. The reason why I'm using that one first is because it stands out to me that all it's saying is that the gallons used by the first car, which is represented by X, plus the gallons used by the second car, which is represented by Y, is equal to 60 gallons altogether. So to interpret what I just wrote, the gallons used by the first car plus the gallons used by the second car came out to be 60 gallons in total. So we're just basically taking our X and Y and creating an equation. That's the relationship between the 60 and the two unknowns. Now for equation number 2, we're going to look at this set of information. So the distance of both cars traveled is 1,600 miles in total. So altogether they travel 1,600 miles. So how do you calculate the distance is one thing you have to think about now. So to calculate distance, we're going to need two things. The fuel efficiency of the car, and we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it with the number of gallons used. So the number of gallons used. For the first car, we know that the fuel efficiency is 40 miles per gallon, so I'll take the 40 That's the fuel efficiency, and I'm going to multiply that with the number of gallons used. Well, the number of gallons used we don't know, but we do know it's represented by X. That's what we're trying to find out. So my number of gallons used for the first car is X. And then I know that I'm going to add that with the other car's distance traveled. So the total distance traveled by the second car is found by taking the fuel efficiency of the second car, which is 20 miles per gallon of gas, and I multiply that with the number of gallons used by the second car, which I know is represented by the variable y. And then that is going to equal a total of 1,600 miles. So just to interpret the equation I just wrote, 40x represents the total distance of car number 1, and 20y represents the distance traveled by car number 2. And if you combine those two distances by adding them together, you're going to get 1,600 miles altogether. And that takes into account our system. So all I'm going to do is just clean it up by rewriting it over here. X plus y is 60 is the first equation. 40x plus 20y is the second equation. Or 40x plus 20y equals 1,600 is the second equation. And there you go. That is the system of equations you need to solve in order to answer this question.